Hello everyone. Today we're going to explore the shocking moment when Prince William collapsed in court after learning the DNA results. Charles is not his biological father. Let's dive into this truth and the far-reaching consequences it has on the royal family. When the DNA results were revealed, Prince William could not stand. Charles was not his biological father. This was a shock not only to the royal family, but also a historic turning point, raising questions about the future of the throne and the royal family's hidden past. Let's uncover some untold secrets and the far-reaching consequences of this stunning event. If you want to learn more about these royal secrets that have never been revealed before, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Let's explore more surprising and profound stories about the royal family in the videos to come. The British royal family has endured many storms throughout its long history, from abdications to divorces. Scandals have come and gone, but few have had a lasting impact like the rumors surrounding Prince Harry's biological father. For years, tabloid newspapers and royal watchers have speculated about the true nature of Harry's lineage, especially regarding Diana's relationship with James Hewitt. The red hair, similarities in features, and their shared military background ignited rumors that Hewitt, not Charles, was Harry's biological father, despite all parties involved, including Hewitt, denying it, stating he met Diana only after Harry was born. Nevertheless, the rumors haunted Harry throughout his life. Former royal reporter Thomas Markham explains, "The rumors about Harry's biological father are some of the most persistent in royal history, and although there's clear evidence to the contrary, they just never completely vanish from the public's mind." The speculation only grew stronger whenever Harry made public appearances, with royal observers comparing his features to both Charles and Hewitt. Social media has amplified this obsession, with side-by-side image comparisons frequently circulating online. The public has always been captivated by the idea, according to royal expert Victoria Barnett. For them, it's like a real-life soap opera. But for Harry, it has been a painful shadow that followed him throughout his life. Within British aristocratic circles, these rumors were considered an open secret, whispered at social gatherings but never directly discussed. Some former palace staff have claimed that even within the palace walls, the speculation was unavoidable. The backdrop for these rumors about Harry's paternity lies in the turbulent marriage between Prince Charles and Princess Diana. Their relationship, once hailed as a fairy tale, quickly deteriorated into one of the most publicly unstable royal marriages in modern history. Charles and Diana's marriage was strained from the beginning, with a significant age gap, differing interests, and Charles's long-standing attachment to Camilla Parker Bowles, creating a perfect storm of unhappiness in their marriage. By the mid-1980s, both Charles and Diana began seeking solace outside their marriage. Charles rekindled his relationship with Camilla, while Diana was reportedly emotionally supported by and later romantically involved with several individuals, including her writing tutor, James Hewitt. Royal biographer Eleanor Hammond notes, "The Wales marriage had really ended long before their official separation. They lived separate lives, only bonded by public duty and commitment to their children." Diana later confirmed the breakdown of their marriage in her famous 1995 Panorama interview, where she painfully admitted, "There were 3 of us in this marriage," referring to Charles's relationship with Camilla as their marriage crumbled in the public eye. Rumors about the paternity of their children, especially Harry, began to spread. Although Diana and those close to her consistently denied the rumors, speculation continued. What began as a typical privacy lawsuit against a British tabloid suddenly took a turn when the legal team made an unprecedented move that would change everything. In an attempt to justify their articles, the tabloid's legal team requested the court to order a DNA test to finally settle the paternity issue once and for all. Royal expert Catherine Wilson recalls the silence in the courtroom when this request was made. It was an unprecedented move in a privacy lawsuit to request a DNA test. No one expected the judge to grant this request, but in a shocking decision that rocked public opinion in Britain, the judge ruled that, due to decades of public interest and its importance to the historical record, the test would be allowed under strict security procedures. For the first time, members of the royal family would be required to undergo DNA testing as part of a legal process, with Prince Charles, Prince Harry, and Prince William all asked to provide samples. The legal battle dragged on for several weeks of tense arguments. The royal family's lawyers fought fiercely against the DNA test order, citing sovereign immunity and privacy rights. The tabloid's legal team argued that the public interest in verifying the truth outweighed privacy concerns, particularly given the constitutional ramifications and the line of succession to the throne. Ultimately, the judge issued a carefully worded ruling. While the court acknowledges the uniqueness of this request and the individuals involved, the questions raised are of fundamental importance to the historical record and potentially to the constitutional arrangements of the nation. Thus, the test is justified. This ruling sent shockwaves through the legal community. Constitutional law professor Jonathan Wright called it the most significant legal decision concerning the monarchy since the abdication crisis of 1936. Initially, the royal family considered appealing this decision, but sources close to the princes revealed that both Harry and William supported the DNA testing, possibly in a final effort to put these long-standing rumors to rest. Don't forget to like and subscribe to follow the most shocking stories and latest revelations about the royal family. Join us as we uncover secrets never told before, shocking events, and unforgettable moments in the upcoming videos. You won't want to miss it. The DNA testing was carried out with unprecedented security and privacy measures. 3 independent laboratories, one in the UK, one in Switzerland, and one in the United States, were selected to conduct parallel analyses to ensure accuracy. Special procedures were established for sample collection and handling. The entire process was overseen by a retired judge appointed by the court, who had experience in sensitive cases involving public figures. The sample collection took place in absolute secrecy at a private medical facility in London. Prince Charles, Prince Harry, and Prince William each entered separately through different entrances to maintain privacy and avoid media attention. Additionally, with court approval, DNA samples from the late Princess Diana were taken from archived medical records. Although James Hewitt was not required to provide a sample, he voluntarily participated in the test, publicly stating he wanted to put an end to these harmful rumors once and for all. The testing process lasted several weeks, with each laboratory conducting multiple verification procedures to ensure the integrity of the results. The results were sealed in separate envelopes and delivered directly to the judge, with no copies being made and no electronic records kept. As the day for the result announcement approached, security around the courthouse was tightened. Court staff were required to sign enhanced confidentiality agreements, and mobile phones and electronic devices were prohibited in the courtroom where the results would be read. The testing process was conducted with the highest level of security, with the samples analyzed by 3 independent laboratories to ensure accuracy. When the final results were ready, they were only announced in a closed courtroom with a minimum number of attendees. On that fateful day at court, The tension was palpable as the two princes sat side by side, waiting for news that would either confirm what they had always believed or shatter their understanding of themselves. When the judge began reading the results, no one was prepared for what happened next. The DNA test results confirmed that Prince Charles was not the biological father of either Prince Harry or Prince William. According to witnesses in the courtroom, both princes appeared visibly stunned as they heard the news, with Harry gripping the armrest in front of him, and William seemingly frozen in shock as the judge continued reading the results, revealing that another man was their biological father. Harry was reportedly said to have collapsed into his chair, while William briefly left the courtroom to regain composure. The judge's voice remained calm as he detailed the scientific results, which all three laboratories had independently concluded. The DNA profiles of both princes did not match Prince Charles. Instead, they both shared paternal DNA markers from another individual, the identity of whom was contained in a sealed envelope. An official in the courtroom later described the scene. You could hear a pin drop. The prince's lawyers appeared visibly ill, with Harry shaking his head in disbelief, while William stared straight ahead, motionless. When the true identity of their biological father was finally revealed, a name that remained sealed in the court's records, sighs of shock and surprise echoed throughout the courtroom. Harry, who had just regained composure, was said to have bowed his head, while a court official was sent to check on William, who had yet to return. The judge immediately called for a recess, allowing the two princes time to process this shocking information. When the court reconvened an hour later, both princes were absent, and only their lawyers represented them, immediately requesting that all records related to the case be sealed. The news of the DNA results sent Buckingham Palace into an immediate state of crisis. An emergency meeting of senior royal officials was convened, and the Queen herself was briefed on the developments. Sources within the palace described an atmosphere of tension and deep concern, with immediate questions arising about the constitutional implications of this revelation. Royal historian Dr. James Barrett explained, "This discovery not only affects Harry and William personally, but it raises profound questions about the line of succession and the legitimacy of the future monarchy. This is unprecedented in modern royal history." The true identity of the biological father of the two princes remained sealed in the court records, although speculation about it quickly spread on social media and in the media. Just hours after the trial ended, the highest-ranking advisors to the royal family gathered at Buckingham Palace. Lord Chamberlain, the Queen's senior official, coordinated the response, while the Queen's private secretary managed communications with Her Majesty herself. According to palace sources, contingency plans that had been prepared for previous royal emergencies were no longer sufficient for this unprecedented situation. "There simply was no protocol for this situation," revealed a former royal aide. The monarchy had faced abdications, divorces, and scandals, but nothing had ever cast doubt on the very bloodline of the future monarch. Security around the royal residences was immediately increased, as officials feared public backlash and media intrusion. The royal press office, responsible for managing the family's public image, was completely shut down, with all announcements and scheduled appearances postponed. Constitutional experts were consulted quietly about legal and historical precedents, although in reality, there was almost no modern precedent. A similar situation had only occurred centuries ago, during a time when the rules of succession and the nature of the monarchy were completely different. The Prime Minister was briefed about the situation through secure channels due to the potential impacts on the government. A small crisis committee, composed of senior cabinet members, was established to monitor the situation and prepare for any necessary response from Parliament. In the days following the revelation, both Harry and William withdrew from public view. Palace sources said they spent time together processing the information that had completely changed their understanding of themselves. A source close to Harry revealed, "He's devastated but also very angry. For years he's been the one who's always been doubted about his biological father. But now he discovers that both he and William have lived with a truth that was kept hidden from them their entire lives." William, as the future heir to the throne, faced more complex emotions. The question of his legitimacy as the heir now hung in the balance, as constitutional experts debated the implications of this revelation. Royal reporter Emma Winters noted, "William's entire life has been dedicated to his future role as king. This revelation not only changes his understanding of his family, but it could change the course of British history." The princes were said to have retreated to Highgrove, a royal residence where they had spent time as children, to process the information in privacy, away from the public eye. Security around the estate was significantly increased, with additional staff deployed to ensure complete privacy, according to those familiar with the situation. Harry's initial reaction was one of feeling vindicated, but this quickly shifted to deep shock. For many years, he had been the one who was always doubted about his biological father, a source close to the Duke revealed. Discovering that the truth was even more complicated than the rumors, and that it affected William as well, was simply too overwhelming for him. William's reaction was described as calmer, but no less profound. As the heir to the throne, his entire life had been structured around his future role. The constitutional implications of the DNA test results not only threatened his personal identity, but also his public identity. Despite their differing positions and recent tensions, both princes reportedly found common ground in this crisis. They did not leave each other, one palace source revealed. This has brought them closer in a way that nothing else could. They are the only two people in the world who truly understand what the other is going through. Both princes were said to have immediately contacted their wives after the court's results were revealed. The Duchess of Cambridge joined William at Highgrove, while Meghan was reportedly providing support for Harry from their home abroad, with plans to join him as soon as possible. With this shocking disclosure, attention turned to the late Princess Diana and what she might have known. Former members of Diana's team spoke out, making claims that the princess had confided in them about her fears and secrets, although no one said she had ever revealed the truth about the biological father of her sons. Diana's former private secretary spoke to reporters. The princess carried many burdens and secrets. She often found herself trapped in situations not of her own making. If she kept this secret, perhaps it was to protect her sons above all else. Royal biographer Sarah Thornton suggested that Diana always protected her children. If she knew the truth, she might have believed that revealing it would only hurt them and destabilize the monarchy they were born into. As investigators pieced together the timeline, it became clear that Diana must have known the truth from the very beginning. Her diaries, some of which had been sealed until now, were requested by the court. Those who had seen relevant diary entries described them as heartbreaking in their honesty. One diary entry, likely written shortly after Harry was born, contained an ominous hint. "The truth will destroy everything. I must protect my sons at all costs. This secret will go with me to the grave." Diana's former bodyguard, Ken Wharf, remarked, "Looking back, there were times when she seemed to carry an unbearable weight. She once told me that being royal meant living with secrets that could shock the entire world. I never imagined it would be something this serious." Those close to Diana during her marriage to Charles began to revisit their memories to search for clues she may have left behind. Her former butler, Paul R., revealed that Diana had asked him to protect a small box containing personal items, telling him it held truths that could never be known while her sons were young. The contents of this box, which is believed to have been passed on to the princes after her death, have never been made public. Diana's relationship with the true biological father of her children, whose identity remains officially sealed but has been the subject of intense speculation, is now being re-examined by royal historians and biographers. Photographs and records of Diana's social circle are being revisited to find clues that may have been overlooked. Perhaps most complicated of all is the position of Prince Charles, who had raised both princes as his own children throughout their lives. Sources close to Charles have revealed that he was deeply shaken by the news, though it remains unclear whether he was aware of the paternity situation beforehand. Royal analyst Timothy Spencer commented, "Charles has a complicated relationship with both princes, especially Harry in recent years, but there has never been any public indication that he suspected the biological father of his children. This is certainly a shock for him, as much as it is for the princes." Palace sources noted that Charles has been in contact with both William and Harry, expressing his continued love and support, regardless of the biological revelations. The Prince of Wales withdrew to his home in Scotland at Birk Hall shortly after being informed of the court's results. His public schedule was temporarily suspended due to a minor health concern requiring rest. Those close to Charles described him as being in an emotional turmoil. If he truly didn't know, this is as much of a shock to him as it is to the princes, said a longtime friend. And if he did know but kept the secret all these years, that's an entirely different burden. Legal experts have pointed out that, despite the biological factor, Charles has been the legal father of both princes since their births. Family law expert Judith Middleton explained, "Under English law, a child born to a married woman is legally considered the child of the husband. This legal relationship does not automatically change due to a DNA test. However, the personal and constitutional implications are still profound. Charles has spent decades preparing for his future role as king, with the understanding that one day he would pass the throne to William. However, this revelation has disrupted his carefully laid plans for succession." Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, has remained by Charles's side throughout this crisis, offering him strong support. A source close to the couple stated, "Whether he knew or not, she is completely supportive of him." The relationship between Charles and the Queen is also under close scrutiny, as the Queen has always been deeply concerned about the responsibilities and stability of the monarchy. According to insiders, her response to this situation has been firm and composed. A former royal advisor remarked, "The Queen has seen the royal family through many worse crises. Her greatest concern now is the stability of the institution and the safety of her family." In a surprising development, sources close to the princes have revealed that they recently discovered a letter from Diana, written before her death, which was intended to be given to them when they turned 30. The existence of this letter has been confirmed by palace officials, but its contents have not yet been revealed. The controversy over Prince Harry's biological father has persisted for years, with many speculating that James Hewitt could be Harry's biological father, particularly due to their physical resemblance and military careers. Despite denials from all parties involved, including Hewitt, who claimed he only met Diana after Harry was born, the rumors have continued to haunt the royal family for many years. Former royal reporter Thomas Markham explained, The rumors about the biological father are one of the most persistent issues in royal history. Although there is clear evidence to the contrary, they have never fully disappeared from public attention. Speculation has only intensified whenever Harry makes a public appearance, with royal watchers analyzing his physical traits and comparing them to those of Charles and Hewitt. Social media has only amplified this obsession, with frequent side-by-side comparisons circulating widely on the internet. Royal expert Victoria Barnett noted, "The public has always been fascinated by this idea. It's like a real-life soap opera to them. But for the royal family, it's a painful shadow that has followed them for years." Within aristocratic circles of British society, these rumors were considered an open secret, whispered about at social gatherings, but never directly addressed. Some former palace staff have stated that even within the palace walls, these speculations were inevitable. The context of these paternity rumors lies in the tumultuous marriage between Charles and Princess Diana. Their relationship, once hailed as a fairy tale, quickly became one of the most dysfunctional and publicly scrutinized royal marriages in modern history. Charles and Diana's marriage encountered issues from the very beginning, with a significant age gap, differing interests, and Charles's ongoing attachment to Camilla Parker Bowles, which created a storm of marital unhappiness. By the mid-1980s, both Charles and Diana began seeking comfort outside their marriage. Charles rekindled his relationship with Camilla, while Diana was rumored to have found emotional support and later a romantic relationship with several men, including her writing instructor, James Hewitt. Royal historian Eleanor Hammond observed, "The marriage of Wales had essentially ended long before they officially separated. They lived separate lives, bound only by official duties and their commitment to their children." Diana would later confirm the collapse of her marriage in her famous 1995 Panorama interview, where she heartbreakingly admitted, "There were 3 of us in this marriage," referring to Charles's relationship with Camilla as their marriage fell apart in the public eye. Rumors about the paternity of their children, particularly Harry, began to spread, although Diana and her close friends always denied these rumors. Yet speculation continued. What began as a typical privacy lawsuit against a British tabloid took a sudden turn when the paper's legal team made an extremely bold move that changed everything. In an attempt to justify their reporting, the newspaper's legal team requested the court to order a DNA test, ultimately aiming to settle the paternity question once and for all. Royal expert Catherine Wilson recounts the moment of complete silence in the courtroom when the request was made. This was an unprecedented move in a privacy lawsuit, and no one expected the judge to agree to this request. However, in a shocking decision that stunned the entire British public, the judge ruled that, due to decades of public interest and its importance to the historical record, the DNA test would be allowed under strict confidentiality measures. For the first time, King Charles himself would have to undergo a DNA test in a legal procedure, along with both princes. The unprecedented nature of the request caused immense tension within the royal family, with some advisors suggesting that the king refuse the test on constitutional grounds. However, after lengthy private discussions, King Charles is said to have decided to comply with the test request. He believes that the truth will exonerate him once and for all, a palace insider said. He was confident that the results would finally silence the rumors that have haunted Harry over the years. The legal debate dragged on for several tense weeks. The royal family's lawyers fought vigorously against the request for the test, citing sovereign immunity and privacy rights. However, the newspaper's legal team argued that the public interest in establishing the truth far outweighed concerns about privacy, especially considering the constitutional implications for the line of succession to the throne. Ultimately, the judge issued a carefully considered ruling, stating that although the court acknowledged the special nature of this request and the unique position of the individuals involved, the questions raised were of fundamental importance to the historical record and could affect the constitutional structure of the nation, making the test reasonable. After a week of rest and medical treatment, King Charles made an unprecedented personal decision, surprising even his closest advisors. Despite being advised against it, he insisted on addressing the nation in a live television broadcast from Buckingham Palace. Sitting at a desk, King Charles appeared tired and frail, with clear signs of stress. He spoke directly to the public for the first time since the revelation. "Throughout my life, the Queen, my beloved mother, has been an inspiration and a role model to me and to all of my family. Duty has always been my guiding principle," he began, his voice steady despite his weakened appearance. "Today, I speak in the most difficult circumstances imaginable, but still guided by that principle of duty, to the truth, to this great nation, and to the institution I have served all my life." In his 20-minute speech, described by royal experts as the most remarkable royal address of the modern era, Charles acknowledged the DNA test results, expressing shock and pain before announcing his decision. "Although I ascended to the throne through blood and legal inheritance, I cannot continue to reign under these circumstances," he said. "The monarchy must be built on truth and legitimacy. Therefore, today I announce my abdication of the throne in favor of my son, William." This announcement sent shockwaves through the nation and the world, prompting constitutional experts to quickly address the legal consequences, noting that unlike King Edward VII's abdication in 1936, this situation presented unique legal challenges. Charles continued to directly address the revelation about his lineage. "William and Harry have always been my sons in every meaningful way. While I now know that I am not their biological father, my love for them remains unchanged. They are and will always be my sons in heart and spirit." He concluded his speech with a request for privacy. "I ask for understanding as my family and I navigate these unprecedented circumstances. Some may harshly judge the circumstances that led to this moment, but I only ask that you remember that behind the crown and titles are human beings who can make mistakes, and I hope there will be dignity in facing these consequences." As Parliament passed the constitutional path for William to ascend the throne, the transfer of power began. Initially, this transition was expected to take decades, but it was now expedited under these extraordinary circumstances. In his final act, Charles issued official documents confirming his confidence and support for William's ascension. In a private ceremony at Buckingham Palace, Charles handed the tools of abdication to the Chief Justice, formally marking the end of his short reign. William, who had prepared his entire life for this role, never imagined that he would have to assume it so soon and under such unique circumstances. However, he accepted the new responsibility with remarkable composure. In his first statement following his father's abdication, William emphasized, "The circumstances that led to my ascension are unprecedented and deeply painful for my family. However, the duty to serve surpasses all personal considerations. I am committed to upholding the traditions and values of the monarchy while acknowledging that healing and reconciliation must be our priority." After the initial shock, Charles found peace in his abdication decision. A longtime friend shared, He feels this is the honorable path, and by voluntarily stepping down, he has preserved some dignity in an unimaginable situation. The former king retired to his beloved residence at Highgrove, where he focused on his health and well-being. The queen consort stayed by his side, canceling public engagements to support her husband. Thank you for watching this video. We hope the information shared has provided you with a fresh perspective on this surprising story. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss the next exciting videos. See you in our upcoming videos.